From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will face down his own caucus members in a hotly anticipated meeting on Parliament Hill this morning. Several of his MPs are planning to try to convince him to step aside after 9 years leading his Liberal government. Federal cabinet ministers heading into their own weekly meeting yesterday voiced support for their leader. Immigration Minister and friend Mark Miller said he fully backs Trudeau and he believes the Liberal government can win a fourth mandate under his leadership.
Absolutely. But it's up to Canadians to decide. We have to prove it to the Canadians. And any minute spent on this garbage is a minute that's not spent on Pierre Poilievre and what he wants to do to this country. And I think that's very dangerous.
Charlottetown MP Sean Casey is the only admitted signatory on a closely guarded letter from an unknown number of Liberal MPs asking for Trudeau to step aside. A new poll suggests most Canadians aren't even aware that a debate has paralyzed work in the House of Commons for more than 3 weeks now. 55% of those surveyed by Leger last weekend said they hadn't heard about the issue, but 39% said they want the government and opposition parties to work together to end the stalemate. It all stems from a Conservative privilege motion calling on the Liberals to turn over unredacted documents related to a green tech fund that misspent government money. The Bank of Canada will release its latest decision on interest rates this morning. Central Bank has lowered its key policy rate 3 times so far this year, down to 4.25%. Economists expected a fourth cut today. Some Saskatchewan teachers have been receiving degrading messages since a complaint about school changing rooms.
The complaint involves 2 biological boys using a girls' change room. The Prairie Valley Teachers Association and the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation say since then, their members have received comments that they describe as disgraceful. A joint statement from the 2 groups says the lives of children should not be used as political fodder, that they say is purposefully designed to divide communities. Saskatchewan Party leader Scott Moe has promised to ban biological boys from using school change rooms with biological girls if he's re-elected on Monday. Jason White, The Canadian Press.
And the U.S. election is just 13 days away. And while Canada and the U.S. have shared geography and history, Canadian press reporter Kelly Malone tells us that doesn't mean the 2 countries' leaders always get along.
Ahead of the looming American election, experts say that personality of leaders can matter for the relationship with Canada. Most experts say Kamala Harris's personality would be a better match for Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and many of their policies align. Laura Dawson is an expert on Canada-U.S. relations and the executive director of the Future Borders Coalition.
We know that Trump-Trudeau is not a good fit. I'm sure, though, that Trudeau will figure out a way to make it work.
Dawson says getting along only goes so far, and many leaders have been productive without being friendly. Kelly Malone, The Canadian Press, Washington.
This is The Canadian Press. In sports, Scotty Barnes and the Toronto Raptors are back. Toronto kicks off a new NBA season tonight when they host the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Raptors will be without a number of key players, though, including swingman R.J. Barrett, who's out with a sprained shoulder. Last night, LeBron James made more history. The NBA superstar played with his son Bronny as their Los Angeles Lakers won over the Minnesota Timberwolves. In NHL action, it was a busy night. All 32 teams were playing. Connor McDavid scored twice, but it wasn't enough as his Oilers dropped a 3-2 count to the Carolina Hurricanes. Calgary rallying for a 4-3 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Winnipeg Jets are 6-0 now after a 3-2 win over St. Louis. The Toronto Maple Leafs lost 6-2 to Columbus. Vancouver beat Chicago 6-3. And it was Ottawa scoring a 4-0 win over Utah. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.